Good hello, and welcome back to Bastion. So last time, I think we left it off pretty much
Part
right
of the
there.
rippling walls floated by, so I caught the kid's old knapsack.
Um, we were attacked by the Ura. I still want to choose their side. We found out what happened was basically an attempted genocide. We're going to stick with that loadout because that's the one that I am most comfortable with. And we're gonna see where the story takes us now. We got Zia back as well. Pardon me, miss, does this
Sure
belong
you
to
didn't
you?
drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he'd go after you.
And the Calamity took everything from the Aura, didn't it? Besides their will to fight.
They lost everything, didn't they? But they just keep on fighting like that's gonna bring it all back.
Right. And we unlocked some of these. I think I collected
She's all
this
to pieces now.
last
Still
time.
looking good.
But we're gonna do it again anyway, because I can't entirely remember what the responses were. This is one of the only traces left of the Ura civilization, the
I
child's
don't need
drawing.
to see what happened to the Ura. I'm trying to undo it, remember?
That really doesn't seem like it, Rux. It really doesn't. It doesn't seem like you're trying to undo it. Yeah, I guess we could try and upgrade the bow again if we can buy from the Lost and Found missile. Oh, cannon, musket, dueling pistols. Yeah, most of that I don't really care about. Might, some of these might be nice. But for now, I think I'm pretty happy with my current setup for potions and things, so we'll just
Once the
get
kid
going.
gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over.
What, are we really at the end of the game? Did I stop right at the end? He bides his time with the remains of the Ura's massive underground sprawl.
The Tazzle terminals. All that's left of the Ura's civilization. And the last stop on his little journey.
Okay. Let's go get it. And hopefully they'll let me side with the Ura in this.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away.
Did we have some sort of means of
But he'll
communicating?
be alright.
Hey. Little tiny ones of these. There we go. Gotcha. No, I didn't, because you're an arse. Left or right?
The Calamity hit the Tazzle terminals hardest of all.
Okay. Okay, so right was nothing. So let's head back towards the left then. Okay, so
You know why Zolf
I
went
still
back
love the music. It's so nice.
there. The place was his home. All his
Ow.
old friends and family were there. Taken by the Calamity.
Maybe it shouldn't have been
Zolf
attempted.
must be there all alone. Just waiting.
Like any other. Whoa! No. Oh, right, I have a shield. Thank you.
You know what's funny? Well,
go, I got him. They're so damn fast.
All of us are waiting for a kid.
Okay. We're getting through them. We're getting through them. No, 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 no. You can stop that, thank you. Oh, and you two, you stop that as well, thanks. Yep. No, you can go away.
Look around. There's not much left to do here at the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right?
Okay, and while you're reloading, you take a shot. Oh! Not these guys, thank you. Still trying to deal with your damn archers. Thank you. There we go, got you. Oh, it nearly rolled right off the edge there. Oh yeah, and we can do that move too, can't we? That one. Okay. There we go. Getting back into the swing of it, remembering how this functions, remembering how we play it.
But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this.
Oh, this
There's
is
something I want you to understand.
all narrated to Zia. That's interesting. Why? Why are we taking that perspective? I mean, I find it fascinating and really interesting. But this whole thing is a story being told to Zia. That's a nice way of doing.
If the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the Earth planted here will go away.
Okay, we've used up all of them. That's fine. Still got other means of attacking. Okay, got him down. We don't need any more health potions. We're actually full right now, which is somewhat surprising because I don't get full on them very often.
Zealandia will be whole again.
Well, I don't want Zealandia to.
It won't be all right.
No, I would rather. Whoa! You shoot.
Everything will be
A
back
lot.
to normal.
There we go. Get rid of you. Right, so we're down on lives now, so we better be careful because we don't have a second chance now. Because that person managed to get us right in the vulnerable bits.
Problem is, we'll all be gone.
Why? What? Is it a time machine?
Oh, we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop.
It's certainly sounding like the Bastion is some sort of time machine.
Things will go back to the way they used to be.
Well, the way they used to be is not good because they
That's the power
attempted
of
genocide.
Bastion. This whole place is a living
Oops, I
record
rolled.
of the times before the calamity.
Are you gonna stop shooting? Yes. Gotcha. Press space. Oh. Nice. Okay, so we can now jump across gaps.
You be your old self again.
Okay.
Think of all those times that didn't go your way.
So we've basically got a better dodge now. Instead of a roll, we now jump about. Okay. Well, there's another bottle there that we need in order to get our ability back. Thank you.
All of life's little setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at them.
Oh, this is collapsing.
No mistakes.
Uh-oh. We don't have any more chances, and we're running very low on health potions because I've played this very badly. Oh, we do have another chance. How do we have another chance? I don't understand that. What have I missed? Just keep going. Just keep going. No, nearly fell off the edge.
Do it over. And wouldn't that be grand? Well.
Okay.
I guess there's nothing more to say.
Well, I don't know, there's a lot more to say. This is all gonna happen again if all you're doing is reversing time. So, yeah, the Bastion's not a good idea.
You won't be long now.
Oh, no. Right, we're restarting the area.
Everything will change.
That went quite badly.
We'll just stop.
Okay, let's get back to where we were.
That's the power of the Bastion.
Block instead of dodge
this whole
this
place
time.
Is a living record of the times before the calamity.
There we go. And now you go.
The way things were before this story.
Right.
Good times, right?
No, they weren't good times.
You be your old self again.
That's
all those times
not a good idea. The Bastion sounds like a terrible invention.
You follow me?
This is getting... Need to go the other way then. Yeah, need to go this way. Okay, and then keep going as these platforms collapse. Right. Block. Right, make sure we don't lose too much health.
Setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at him.
Okay, just keep going.
Mistakes.
And try not to have to restart if we can. Or
anyone you've ever hurt. Everything you've ever done. You could do it over.
no, you couldn't. Not if you've ceased to exist. That's not how the rules of time travel work. Resetting it to how it was without knowing what's happened, which is your implication, doesn't let you
I guess there's nothing more to
Everything's just gonna happen all over again. And they're gonna try and commit genocide all over again. Right, block.
Who am I kidding? Look. There's something else. A confession.
Yeah, you're involved with creating the Calamity. I've worked that part out.
How come I know so much about the Bastion?
Because you designed the Calamity. You're Oppenheimer.
Well, I designed the place.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point.
Worked that bit out.
There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time.
Yeah, it might be
You
that.
can't test it.
Yep. Well, there's also the problem that no one will be able to change their actions because they can't remember what happened. Unless you're going to say the
So
kid
you're
can
probably
remember.
wondering if the Calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again?
Thank you.
After the Bastion does its thing.
Yes, it will happen again. Unless you let at least one person go back and with it and change things. Now, if you let the kid do that, then I've got...
The answer is... I don't know.
Well then, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this then? What?
You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess.
Of course.
It's alright. I can tell. But why would you even want another way?
Because Zulf is...
Unless you wanted to stay here. With us.
Because we need to... Zulf is doing the right thing, and we should just let the Bastion fall.
Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around.
Okay. Oh, I somehow missed this switch. I'm not sure I want you to stick around, if I'm completely honest.
The weight of the Calamity. It's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go.
Right.
Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking.
This way? No, back this way. No? Where are we going? Why did I... Why have... Where are we going? This doesn't... What? Where am I going? I'm confused. Oh, there's a giant wall here I didn't see for some reason.
If ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores and we'd take off away from here.
This is so slow. Well, that led to a dead end. What about this way? Why have I got a battering ram? Oh, I gotta go stand on that, do I?
Of course, that would mean no going back. Ever. But then again,
That's a better idea.
that way all of us could leave the city. Together.
Because the other
You know,
issue with
Zolf
going
and his
back
countrymen
is...
won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you?
The other issue with going back is that there's a good chance that if you do manage to change things, that the calamity doesn't happen exactly the same, that the attempt at genocide actually finishes happening. And I'm even less happy about that.
All they want now is to see the Bastion fall.
I can't break that down.
Zolf dedicated his life to a lasting peace between the Ura and Caelondia.
Good. He should have. And he feels absolutely betrayed in that
Can't
Caelondia...
imagine the city would try to wipe the Ura out.
Exactly. This is stupid.
Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid.
Can I not have a battering ram? It's stupid. It's slow. It's annoying. I'm trying to catch this
For
little
Zolf,
prick.
this ain't a personal matter.
No, it's not personal. It's saving your people. And Zolf doesn't hold a grudge against everyone. He holds a grudge against you because you're involved with it. This is ridiculous. Give me better weapons. Well, now I'm screwed.
It's such a shame.
This is ridiculous. I hate this weapon. I really do. I can't dodge. I can't really move while blocking. I can't get close to you. This is some bullshit.
It ain't a simple matter of pride either.
And blocking doesn't work straight away either. Like, it has a huge cooldown between attacking and blocking. There we go. Finally get through this.
One thing's for
thing.
sure. The Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
Can I please have my other weapons back? Abandon Zolf's body and press forward. No. We're taking Zolf. Abandon the battering ram, pick up Zolf's body instead. Zolf is badly injured but breathing. It appears his countrymen turned on him as their situation grew desperate. He nearly destroyed the Bastion, and yet Zolf's situation is hopeless and a distraction. His plan to avenge the Aura only brought more suffering. All that matters is, no, I'm taking Zolf.
I can see it now. The kid in one corner, and Zolf in the other. Ain't much of a fight.
We're saving Zolf.
Don't you worry, though. Once
He's
the
a good
Bastion's
person.
restored, it'll all be alright.
No, it won't be. The Bastion shouldn't be restored.
You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you?
Hey, look, Rux is wrong. So utterly wrong here. How do I get out of this?
I set my sail, fly, the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home.
Is there no way to survive this? Like, I can't attack back, I can't do anything? This is the end of it? Sure, okay. This is where we all die then.
Coming home, sweet home. I see your star. You left it burning for me.
The music, as always, is fantastic.
I'm here. Eyes open wide.
Taking the battering ram wouldn't have helped if there were this many enemies
Kid's
anyway.
probably dealt with Zolf by now.
Welcome home.
He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
Did we manage to save Zolf? I don't think so. We got riddled with arrows.
Hey, kid. Get up, kid.
I'm trying. Not letting me.
Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up. That's more like it.
Where's Zolf? Is he alright?
Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk.
Hang on, where is everyone?
First things first, kid.
Nuh-uh.
The Bastion's waiting.
No, not first things first. That's really suspicious. I don't have a choice here, do I?
The Bastion. It's finally finished. There's something I want you to see.
I'm suspicious. What did you do?
Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions.
You made it.
Oh, she actually spoke for once. Well, I guess the rest of the story was him talking to Zia about, like, narrating. Hang on, what? Restoration. Ask Zia about the Bastion's restorative power. Do you think this thing is going to work? What do you think I should do?
So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes.
Okay. Evacuation. Ask Zia about the Bastion's evacuation mode. If you could go anywhere you wanted, where would you go?
If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world.
Sealed note. Tell Zia what happened to Zolf. His own people turned on him when his plan to destroy the Bastion faltered.
Zolf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed.
Tell Zia about her people, the Ura Sigil. They were very brave, but there was nothing left for them but their revenge.
When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up.
I like that we're finally getting Zia's point of view and Zia's talking. Like, that's fantastic. Harp guitar. Talk to Zia about her harp guitar. Isn't there some moment in your life you wish you could go back to?
Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before.
That's fair. Look, I agree with Zia.
Hey, kid.
Restoration. Ask about the Bastion's restorative power. What will it feel like to fix the Bastion? Oh, sorry, feel like when the Bastion fixes everything.
You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you.
So here's the thing. Going back and risking a change so that, like, I mean, there's a chance you wipe out an entire people if you do that. Or you press on and you try and make the best of the bullshit that you messed up. Evacuation. About the Bastion's evacuation mode. If you could go anywhere, would you go back or somewhere else?
Always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore.
Ura Sigil, tell Rux about what happened to Zolf. He never learned the whole truth, did he?
Zolf only brought more ruin to the Ura. No wonder they didn't take kindly to him.
The Marshal's badge. Offer the Marshal's badge at the end of their careers. The Marshals used to return their badges to the city.
You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it.
Yeah, I don't want him to have it. I just wanted to go through all the options, because I don't think he deserves it. Pecker Nest. Ask about what it took to get to this point. The windbags, the beasts of the wild, the Ura, they fought so hard to stop this
Don't
moment.
let anything you've done get to you. You can save all those creatures here and now.
The monument, I guess. So, initiate the Bastion's restoration protocol. Caution, this process will restore a previous world state and is irreversible. Use only as directed. Initiate Bastion's evacuation protocol. This process will cause irreparable damage to the core receptacles, disabling the restoration protocol. See, I'm leaning towards evacuation, but only because I'm pretty sure we can't change anything. Look, would I want to undo what happened? Yes. Would I want to undo what happened at the risk of wiping out an entire people? No. Yes, there are a lot fewer survivors in total now, but to wipe out an entire culture, to commit genocide, that's atrocious. And there's no guarantee it wouldn't happen all over again anyway if we went with restoration. Like, the only chance here is the person pulling the trigger on this choice if they go back and could change things. And if that were to happen, then maybe we can stop the Ura's attempted genocide and stop the Bastion from being used. Not the Bastion, the calamity. Stop it from happening. Now, if that were to happen, then I'd consider going back in time worthwhile. But right now, I don't trust Rux. So, we're going with evacuation. Also, Zolf didn't survive, which kinda sucks.
Mother. And here I figured you'd had enough of me by now.
I have.
You could have undone the calamity itself. But instead, you want to stay.
because there's no guarantee it would work.
I gotta admit, kid, I ain't yet put much thought in that idea. But carrying on with you here,
Zolf is alive. He's over there.
can't go back no more. But I suppose we could go wherever we please.
He's on the right.
And if anyone's left out there, I sure would like to see the look on their faces when we dock this thing right on their doorstep. Getting ahead of myself, though. I'm gonna need a first mate.
Do we
What do
have
you
to
say?
stick with Rox? I don't trust Rox. I mean, I love his narration. I love the music. I love the story idea. I just, as a character, I don't trust him. And I think that's the end of the game. So I probably could have finished this in the last recording session. I just reached a point where it got a little rough. But that's a very interesting game. Do I want to see the other ending? Possibly. I might look it up, and I don't think I can just redo the last bit. I think I'd have to redo the whole thing. I would not take the battering ram instead of Zolf. It isn't who I am, partly because the battering ram sucks as a weapon, but also I wouldn't abandon Zolf when all he was doing was trying to do the right thing the whole time. But to see what the outcome is of taking, you know, the other option there at the end, I would do that if it lets us load up a save at that choice instead of replaying the whole thing. The music is fantastic. The sound design is incredible. The art is really quite unique. It's not my favourite style. It's a little bit too chibi sort of look. Little bit too painterly for me. But it is very well done. It looks very nice. It's just not my personal preference with art styles. But the music really is incredible here. It's a fantastic game. I'm looking forward to the other ones in their series. Hades is another one that we're going to look at. We're not going to do it after this game. We're going to take a little bit of a break with a different genre, I think, and before we come back to it. It's been a messy game. It's been a rough game to go through, but it is thoroughly enjoyable. The gameplay is great. I'm going to say it again. The music is really, really, really fantastic. The sound design, the narration, the approach of having Rux tell the story to Zia the whole time, fantastic. Love that. And then to have Zia talk in the final bit because, hey, now we've caught up to the present time. That's brilliant. I love that. But yeah, I think my next. I mean, some of it doesn't entirely make sense. Talking to Zia about her own past in the way that he did when we go to the cooking thing, kind of a bit weird. Like, she knows her own past, so telling that story to her is odd. Unless it's not just Zia he was telling a story to. If different parts, maybe that was him telling the story to us, or to. No, by that point Zolf had left, I think. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not just telling the story to Zia, but I do like that approach. I think that's a fantastic way of doing things. But yeah, it's a very interesting game. It's not particularly long, clearly. You know, what's this part? Episode 5 is what this one is. Episode 5, episode 6. Each being roughly hour and a half. So it's not particularly long. It's not particularly in depth. It's got a fairly short, straightforward. It's got a few twists in the story, but it's straightforward in the sense that it's not branching paths until the end, is what I mean. So it's more linear than it is non-linear in any sort of way, or choice-based, which isn't bad. I really like that. There are so many games that do a linear, straightforward story and are really interesting. You know, the subject matter can be rough with what they went through, which is why I took a bit of a break, but it's still... Look, we need stories, movies, TV shows, games that tackle rough topics sometimes. And I'm glad this one does. It just meant that I needed to take a bit of a break between sessions there of playing it, because it was hard to bring myself to continue with that. So we also unlocked New Game Plus, which we can find in the story menu, which we begin with all the weapons and XP. We get new shrines, distillery spirits, all of the structures buildable in any order, and use the shrine for the toughest challenge. Yeah, this is a game I don't feel the need to 100%. I am going to real quick look up the alternate ending, because I'm pretty sure otherwise we'll have to play through the whole thing to get the other ending. So yeah, I'm going to go look that up, and you'll get to see my reaction to that as well, I guess, because we'll share it here. But yeah, let's look that up and take a look before we close out the episode. Okay, so here we go. I found a version of this. We're just going to make sure it's in high definition, that shows us the other endings. So I skipped ahead, made sure we found the right one. I'm pretty sure this is saving Zulf with restoration. I don't really care about the endings where we don't save Zulf. I might watch through them anyway, just to show that. But honestly, as I said, I wouldn't take that choice. Ever. So it's one of those things where it just wasn't worth taking the battering ram over Zulf.
It's finished. Now sit tight. It'll be over soon.
It's, you know, a little bit quieter video, so I'll turn up the volume.
No matter what happens next, you're done good. I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment. The Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time before any of this. Maybe we'll forget everything you've done. And each other. Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe. So long, kid. Maybe I'll see you in the next one.
So there's really no guarantee of anything.
Zealandia, we're coming home.
Zealandia doesn't deserve to be restored. If they, well, actually, no. Hang on, I'm gonna take that back. It was most likely people at the top who were the issue, who were the ones wanting to commit genocide and not the people in general. And if that's the case, yes, it does, like, those people deserve to be restored. The rest of them who got affected by it. But, like, you know, obviously regular people aren't going to be responsible for the attempted genocide. Most likely, unless it was a cultural idea. So do the credits change as well? Because this is a very different picture. So maybe the credit images are also part of the ending. In which case, maybe... Right, okay. That's interesting. So Zolf fell in love with someone, by the looks of it. Okay, so I should have probably paid more attention during the first go through the credits, rather than talking my thoughts, because apparently the ending images are kind of part of the aftermath of the story. Zia looks pretty unhappy though, in this particular ending. Then I might go back and watch through the other credits again and see those ending images, because I really didn't pay attention to them. So there's the kid working on the wall, I'm imagining. So far the ending images here for this one is not particularly hopeful. Zolf appears to be in a good situation, but we don't know if the calamity happens anyway here. So far. He's building something. The Bastion. Yeah, I figured he was behind the whole thing. He invented the calamity. He committed the damn genocide, or attempted genocide. He's far more involved than he ever let on. I don't trust Rux. Yeah, I it's a thoroughly enjoyable game. It really is. It's got a very interesting approach to it, and then it goes into the without Zolf side of things, and I don't really care too much. But what I will do, come back and see the credits here for the one that we actually did, that is our ending, my ending, all of yours watching. Because I didn't pay attention to the images, and I really should have. So, yeah, let's take a look properly. And you've heard my closing thoughts on the game already during my credit scene that we watched. So, Rux looking after the kid, who we never learnt the name of. And is played by Logan Cunningham, I guess. And then, yeah, that's, I mean, it's kind of nice, but he has a lot to make up for. Right, I did see that one. I did take note of that, I just didn't mention it. Like, I think I might have mentioned Zolf being alive or something during the first go through this. Zolf sort of being, you know, not particularly happy about the situation, him being the, you know, always just trying to do the right thing is what Zolf's situation is. So Zolf ends up in a, and I did see that one as well. So Zia's happy, Zolf is miserable, basically. Rux kind of ends up in a reasonable place either way. Look, Zia's a nice kid, I guess, girl, my age, kid's age, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not sure which ending's a good ending, let's be honest. I think both have their problems. As I've voiced already, you know, sticking out, living after the calamity, like the number of deaths that the calamity caused is probably astronomically high. But reversing it and risking it all happening again, or something worse happening, like, you do not know what the results of time travel is going to be. You do not know what will happen from time travel. Okay. Yeah, so it's that same old it's that same old sort of argument of, if you could go back in time and kill Hitler, would you? And as horrible a person and as horrific as his acts and the things he was involved with were, it would change absolutely everything about where we are today. And would it change for the better? Probably not. Like, what happened... Hitler was not a good person. Hitler was a horrible, evil person. However, he was a product of his time. There was an anti-Jewish, well, actually, very sort of pro, like, Aryan movement happening already in that particular time period, partly as a result of the First World War. And if you go back and you kill Hitler, someone else is likely to take his place. Like, look at the other people high up in the Nazi Party at that point in time. Any one of them would have gone as far as he did, possibly even further. Like, you know, in the end, he failed. What happens if you get someone who's slightly more intelligent running the whole thing? What if you end up with someone who actually succeeded? If you go back and you wipe someone out who's like that, there's a pretty good chance you're going to end up in a worse situation, because you've just allowed the door to be open to someone who was potentially worse, but wasn't quite as charismatic as him. Like, let's look at Joseph Mengele, who did some absolutely horrific, atrocious things. Like, as did Hitler. Both of them are terrible people. Both of them never really deserve to make it through as far as they did. But the number of things that I can easily recount that would have changed as a result. Like, even... like, war isn't a good thing, but it can result in some good things. War can have a good purpose sometimes. Like, if you've got a tyrannical government and the people revolt and it becomes a civil war, do I say that that war's a bad thing? No, it results in a lot of deaths, and that's not good. But the war has some good purpose. But the big thing about war is it creates innovation. Like, Alan Turing helped develop essentially what is the ancestor of the computers as a result of the Enigma machine that the Germans were using. Without that, we wouldn't have technology that we have now. We wouldn't have headed this direction, because it wouldn't have been a necessity for it. Which means we wouldn't be watching videos and enjoying them online, probably. Or it would happen at a later time. Wouldn't be up to this level of technology at the time. Now, is that worth Hitler living? No. Not that alone, but you got to look at everything else that would have changed too. Like, countries' borders, people who are alive today who do a lot of good for the world, who wouldn't have been alive because their parents wouldn't have met because one thing or another would alter. Like, now there's a lot of terrible things happening in the world too at the moment that we would all love to have changed the direction of. But we don't. Changing one major event in order to try and reset a timeline, it's not a good idea. Not unless it's in the recent history. If it's in the recent history and you can guide it towards a good point, then what you're changing is very minimal because it's all recent. But if you go back 5, 10 years, you are changing a lot more than you realize, even from something small. You know, it's called the butterfly effect, but it's so much more devastating to think about if you really look at the ins and outs of time travel. Now, you know, there's various theories on how time travel works and things like that. You know, one particular theory is that everything that has happened will happen. You cannot change it. If you go back in time, you were always going back in time. You were back in time the first time through that. It's a loop, basically, is that particular theory. The other theory is that making a change creates a divergent timeline where the original timeline still exists, because otherwise you'd end up in a paradox. So what you do is you just divert it to a new direction, which means everyone that was alive before in the original place where you came from are still living that life. It's just you've created a branch that changes direction and does something else. In which case, this, like, if you were to go back and kill Hitler in that sort of scenario, everyone in the world that you came from, everyone alive here and now, still has to live with all the same choices and everything that exist here. In their world, Hitler didn't get killed early. And they're just going to have to keep living through that. And you create a divergent one, which may be better, may be worse. We don't know. You wouldn't know either, in all likelihood, if you were to do that. But my point being, a bit of a tangent here, a bit of an off topic, but you know, going with the ending where we go and undo the calamity, we don't know the results of that. They could be far worse. What if someone still tries to commit genocide against the Ura and ends up creating a worse calamity that just straight up wipes the world out entirely and no one's left? We don't know. So, is it worth taking that option? Personally, I don't think so. Sorry, Zulf. Your life might have been better in that world, according to the images in the credits, but it's not worth the risk, in my opinion. Now, some of you might have differing opinions, and that's okay. That's how the world works. If we all thought the same way, it'd be boring. Firstly, there wouldn't be any entertainment anywhere because everyone would think the same way and we'd all know what each other were thinking and know the solution to everything ahead of time. We shouldn't think the same way. We should think differently from one another. You might disagree with my sentiment about time travel and wiping out horrible people from history. Again, you're fully entitled to be able to disagree with that and have your own opinion. And my opinion isn't that these people deserve to live, that are horrific, horrible people like, you know, Stalin or Hitler or things like that. Like, my opinion's not that they deserve to live. Absolutely not. They do not deserve to. My opinion is that you don't know what will change if you had the chance to go back and eliminate them. You do not know what the outcome will be. And certain people in history, it wasn't like, if you look at history in general in that time period, it wasn't just their opinion or their beliefs that they were imposing, it was the beliefs that were around anyway. And so you don't know if someone worse might take their place. In fact, in some cases, there's a good chance a worse person will come in and take their place. And when it comes to Hitler, could you imagine if someone else, like, you eliminate him before he ever takes power, someone else comes in and suddenly the entire world is ruled by Nazis because you wiped out someone who was destined to fail. So one final thought that I just had before we properly end this is, if you had a time machine and you had the ability to go back in time, a better solution than trying to kill someone, maybe all the people that should have died, maybe go and save them in the moment before their death, bring them back in the time machine to the future and let them keep living. Yes, they get displaced from time, but if you save them in their own time, then the changes they make are also irreparable and you don't know where it'll go. But bring them back to your time. You save their lives, they keep living, people get to stay alive. Just go back and save people, bring them forward. Yes, they get displaced, yes, it'll be a weird culture shock, but it's a much better solution than trying to eliminate people to change a timeline. Just go save the people who would have died. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, and that's where we're going to leave this. So, thanks for joining me for the final episode of Bastion. Have a good one. I will see you next time. Bye.